Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, welcome to our second segment on Season 2, Episode 4 of Philly Comedy Club Presents the RUS GUTIN Experience here on Zoom and my YouTube channel. And it's time for another edition of your favorite segment and mine, Russell Around the Interwebs. Graphics explosions, where I, your host with the most, Papa Rus, tries to clue you in, the audience at home, to my favorite comedian-created content available to you on the interwebs during the pandemic and thereafter. And tonight is the one that I've been looking forward to probably the most. My dear friends and the co-hosts of my favorite podcast of all time, Couples Therapy Podcast, NAOMI Ekperigin and Andy Beckerman, are joining us tonight to talk to me all about their killer podcast and some other cool shit too. And ladies and gentlemen, as promised with all Russell Around the Interwebs, before we do our killer interview, I start you off with a little clip, and it's one of my favorite segments on Couples Therapy Podcast. It's called Naomi Hates, where Andy gives Naomi room to run and really go the fuck off about what happened her nuts that week. And let me tell you something. You don't want to get this woman's goat. Believe me, because you're going to get ran the fuck over. And this one is about a particular subject you know I love on the show, video games, and particularly ones that Andy has been playing. So please enjoy a clip from Couples Therapy, and then I'm going to be joined by Naomi and Andy themselves.
Why, Naomi, I think we should do a segment called Naomi Hates. Take it away,
so
baby girl.
Okay, so Andy was, he's been talking about playing Zelda. And I notice whenever I look up and see him playing Zelda, he has to collect foods and then make stews. And I swear to God, and this is and this is the thing I don't understand and I don't like. Why is everybody into these games like Animal Crossing where you have to have a goddamn job?
Right.
Why would I want to play a game where I have to till a field? Animal Crossing, right? Doesn't animals tell you what to do? What the fuck is this? Some twisted roots? I gotta till a goddamn field, and if I make enough money, I can make my house bigger? Well, that's just life. That's just living. How is that supposed to be fun? How is that supposed to be a break from the everyday? So I'm up in here doing A, B, up, down, left, right. Ooh, I just planted a field. Is that fun? Is that the activity? Live it. How could you find that joyful? How are people trying to foist that on me? You think I'm about to play this game so that when the race wars come and you put me in an internment camp, I'm going to be ready to till?
George the guy.
You ain't tricking me with a video game the same way that, sometimes the army, the government will, find boys who can play the good shoot-'em-up games and then be like, join the Marines. Sure. So then they up in here trying to get my ass to till the fields. So they'll be like, you good with us bringing slavery back? No. I ain't playing no damn Animal Crossing. I'm not making you a stew in the fictional world of Zelda. How the hell you got fairies and magic, but I still got to be up in here cooking and don't have all the ingredients? Well, that's just being in my house.
Yeah.
That's just being at home, looking up in the cupboard saying, well, I can't make that. What can we do with what we got? This ain't a game. This is life, and it is a struggle.
It is a game.
And that's what I hate about it. That's a game when this ain't a game. I'm done.
I just bought a house in Zelda, by the way.
And he got to furnish it. Well, that's just living.
That's just living.
You never have the money to furnish after you make the down payment.
I think it's basically all the things that millennials can't afford in real life.
It's a gorgeous wood frame structure. Really good bones.
Yeah, it's in a great village.
Yeah.
And that, folks, of course, is Naomi Hates.
That's just true.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program, and of course we're doing this pre-recorded, so I'm going to give you the round of applause, the co-hosts of my favorite podcast, Couples Therapy Podcast, Naomi Ekperigin and Andy Beckerman, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Hey.
If you get Naomi's goat, you're going to get some sour milk.
No, let me tell you something. You don't want to get her goat. That's right. Because I tell you something. This is what I thought. The minute I saw that, I was so excited because most of the video games I play are very fast, action-oriented. I'm Batman, right? So I got Red Dead Redemption, right, Andy? And to progress in the game, you got to go hunting and fishing.
What?
I brought that fucking game right back to Greg at the GameStop. And I said, Greg, I don't have time to hunt and fish in real fucking life. Not that I would. You send me down the wrong path again, Greg. I'll knock this Funko Pop stand right the fuck over, you know? Give me Mortal Kombat 11, you know? It has to be blood, guts, and glory for me.
Yes,
But she did
yes.
that.
No,
It
this
spoke
new
to
crop
my
of
heart.
games. It's not Mortal Kombat. The new crop is Moral Combat.
That's right. Yes.
It's an ethical
I'm going to
battle.
be AOC.
and a
It's
symposium.
AOC versus a finisher, you know? And then she does a 20, minute rant on constitutional. Anyway, listen. I can't believe that you guys are here with me tonight. And I have to say some of this jargon, but I am so over the moon that we have moved heaven and earth to do this pre-recorded segment here on season 2, episode 4 of Philly Comedy Club presents the RUS GUTIN Experience here on Zoom and my YouTube channel. And you guys are the co-hosts and also my dear friends of my most favorite podcast, Couples Therapy Podcast. And you guys are just, how do I put this?
Lovely.
Yes, lovely. And also, I am not alone in my opinion because you're one of the most popular podcasts in the country right now. You've recently been featured in Entertainment Weekly and Vulture, amongst others. So I'm going to ask you the first question that I always ask my comedian friends here on Russell Around the Interwebs. What is the origin story? How did this amazing podcast come to be? And are you guys surprised at how big a deal it has become?
I'm always surprised. You know?
It's taken, Naomi's not. I've been doing a podcast for like a decade, and so I'm used to just talking into a microphone. But Naomi, I think you literally on the latest episode said something like, "I think after doing this for about 2.5 years, I finally realized that there are people on the other end of this thing."
Right.
You know, like if I'm holding the microphone, there's an audience, you know? And so it took me a while. I was like, is that anything? Who knows? And then you just put it out.
And then you get the feedback. Well, that's why I was so nervous to have you guys on the show tonight, because most of the people that have watched this show are either blood relatives or high school friends. And I thought to myself, oh my God, actual people might see this. I have to actually practice and do a good job. And like I said, it's hard for me because I respect you guys so much as artists, but I also love you as humans. So I can imagine that it must be off-putting to finally have that feedback and get people reacting to what you're saying in real time.
Well, I mean, look, first of all, Russ, you say you love us. We love you from the moment we saw you. But from the moment we saw you.
From the nanosecond. Don't even say moment.
That's right.
From the picosecond.
Too much hesitation in a moment.
Yeah. A moment's from here to here, from here to eternity. That's a moment.
Right.
Wow, that's a movie, too. That's a movie, too.
I'll tell you this, the book, pretty darn good.
Oh, my God.
And that's Andy's book recommendation. Thank you, folks. Good night.
He loves letting you know he reads. You know what I mean? It's like
No, it's a humble flex, and I'm okay with it. It's what people
I'm
say.
literate, folks.
It's a soft flex.
it is soft.
No. That's why I have the shelf here, so you can see all the books, so you know that I am very well read and I'm very learned. You know,
Always. You gotta let people know you learned it.
no,
Are they
that's
just like
right.
Biographies of John Kruk.
Who's that?
Well, listen, my parents just brought me a whole box of baseball cards and football cards and everything. I found 3 cards that are each worth more than $1,500 to $2,000.
What? That's
they're
the
in
dream.
I have a Bo Jackson rookie card. It's pristine because I was obsessed with Bo Jackson and Wayne Gretzky and Michael Jordan. So I have all these amazing things that luckily my parents have preserved and had the free time during quarantine to discover for me. I'm not cutting them in on the profits either.
No.
I have a BoJack Horseman rookie card. Is that worth
Oh,
anything?
wow. No. I would take it too. Yes. And Laura Gutin was a writer on that. Represent my family.
Oh, snap.
We're distant relatives, but I'll take it.
You gotta claim it.
So, what?
You gotta claim it.
No. I will
know?
take it. We're both from Cherry Hill, and we're both Jews, and we're both last name Gutin, so it's close enough for me. It checks a lot of boxes. So, on to question number 2, guys.
Russ, can I run one?
On your
Wait, Russ, hold on. Andy's gonna go get some food.
Oh, I love it.
The doorbell rang.
Is it Postmates or DoorDash? I just learned about all this stuff.
What do you mean just learn? You're in Jersey.
Yeah, I just have my 3 restaurants that know my allergies and they send me my same orders.
Right.
Like
Grilled
Jade
chicken
Island,
breast.
it's like 7 Spruce, POPPA RUS. They send me my my allergy order, my special needs food. Naomi.
Oh my God, bless. It's good that you have support.
No. So I'll start asking you this, and hopefully Andy can weigh in, because I don't want to keep you guys too long, of course.
No, please.
But number 2, you guys have had like more than 100+ episodes, and you've already had an amazing list of incredible guests, including the endlessly handsome and seemingly ageless Russ Gutin.
Of course.
This is one I thought of off the top of my head.
Right.
But of course, you've also had people who are actually famous, like Gary Goldman, Kunal Nanjiani, and Michelle Patel, just to name a few. So the thing that makes the podcast stand out to me the most, just the 2 things that make it stand out to me and make it my favorite, are 2 things. Is one, you guys have a format where you put together comedian couples or comedians who are very close friends with each other, and they appear on stage together or on the podcast. And I think it's so unique and engaging and specific that you can't, replicate it in any other form. And number 2, the other thing that I love is that before the pandemic, you guys had a format where you would do episodes that were either pre-recorded or live, and the show worked brilliantly either way, which is a rare thing for podcasts to pull off. Some are live podcasts, some are pre-recorded. So I like that you guys can do both, and I had a blast with you guys at Good Infinity.
I know, we did it up in the hometown.
Right. Yeah. And it's always sold out, and it's so cool to see all those woke, handsome people with their big glasses and everything, and their scarves and their beanies. So my question for you is like 2-part. What would you say, like, spill the tea? Who are the best comedian couples you think you have had so far? And have any of those couples ever gotten to a real disagreement mid-appearance?
Oh God, who are some of the best comedian couples, and have they gotten into a disagreement?
Can we do part 2 first? Because
no, whatever you like. Dealer's choice.
no names, but we've been doing the show for a long time. It started as a live show in New York, and we had on once these 2 exes.
Yes.
And so you get 12 minutes. We tell people 10 to 12, we'll light you at 10. We'll get the light at 10 minutes. This went close to, I would say 25.
I was going to say, they did 23 minutes.
No.
And they were disagreeing heavily throughout.
Did they agree to the booking while they were still together and we're still like,
no. No, that's the thing, because usually we reach out, unless we know someone's a couple, we just reach out to one person and we say, pick who you want.
Right.
Who do you want to be on with? Who's a bosom chum?
Right, that's what you guys said to me. Yes.
Yeah.
And you'd like to get into it. You'd like to dig in on stage for about 10 to 12 minutes.
Right.
Light at 10. Light at 10. If you're, for people in the audience, if you're a comic and you're on stage, Naomi, back me up on this.
Yeah.
You're just in your thing, right? You're not paying attention to what's going on. You're just doing your act.
Right.
And you want someone from the club to light you, to hold up a light.
That's
usually
that's
cell phone.
The story of my life is holding up lights and watching people run over them for 17 minutes at a time.
To let you know it's time. You get a minute, maybe 2 minutes left to get the heck off stage.
No,
all right.
I've seen Ed at Gotham turn on the house lights on a motherfucker.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's the realest shit I've ever seen.
It's very real. Honey, it's like, you know what it is? I feel like when someone's running the light, I'm like, honey, it's not your birthday. This is not your time to just keep
running
going.
the light means no. Yeah.
You're not a goonie. It's not your time down here.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. And, a few times at the Comedy Store, I used to tell people, like, hey, you run the light one more time. I'm going to walk right up in the middle of your sentence. I'm going to take the mic out of your hand. And they thought I was just, like, musical theater jazz hand.
Right.
And there I was, like fucking like Father Christmas. I took that shit from you.
Oh my God, like Sandman at the Apollo.
And there I was. So, and I'm not worried about it either, because I'll slap the shit out of somebody if I have to. I don't wear the eagle I wear the eagle as like a sort of signal to people, like, don't cross this line.
Did you have Mitzi's blessing to rough someone up?
By the time I was there, I only met her once. She wasn't really there all the time. She was more older and staying at home. So I did meet her once, and I think she was in the room while I was performing, but I don't know if she would have known that. So, and I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Right.
But luckily, my Yom Kippur joke did well that night in my mind's memory. So I'm going to remember it exactly the way that I want to. So I'm going to ask you guys the third question that I wanted to ask you, which is, I find myself, just like everybody else, and to use the parlance that you use on your show, we are all in the pandemic. We are all in the quarn. We are all in the lock dizzle. I don't know if you said lock dizzle or if I made that up, but we're in the lock dizzle.
How dare you put that on her?
We're in the lock dizzle. And I am at home. You guys are stuck at home. I'm at home with my wife who's working full time. I'm homeschooling 4th grade and kindergarten, like Little House on the Prairie, Mormon Schoolhouse, Big Love, HBO Max. Okay? So I understand that we're all in this very precarious situation with our loved ones where we're all sort of trapped together. And I would say during the pandemic, one of the things that has been a real joy for me and Dara and a shared experience is all the content that you guys are constantly putting out. So my question to you is, and be honest, how hard is it to constantly be working together and find time for yourselves as a couple, to just be Naomi and Andy? Do you guys have any secrets?
Oh,
Like me and Dara, who find ourselves working in the same space all the time now.
oh, Russ, honey. Cracking that code has been the Rubik's Cube of Guar. It's truly been crazy. It's truly been crazy.
Sorry, our animals are going nuts. We're having a very serious moment here. We're getting like really into our hearts. And Mabel, our dog, she doesn't like it. She wants everything to be surface jokes.
They know I'm afraid of them, so they react. Even
we have a damn menagerie.
I'm terribly afraid and allergic to your animals.
Oh, right. Honey, it's like we have a menagerie, I tell you. 3 mouths to feed. 3 mouths to feed.
The picture of you guys on the stairs while you're walking the dog with like a 90s hip-hop cover. It looks like what Public Enemy said was going to happen, you know.
I mean, what do we do? Like, I feel like just this past weekend, we decided to finally, like, go out in the evening. Not into an establishment. We just literally, like...
We drove.
And we took a walk.
In a new area of the city. We dressed up. We put on nice clothes.
Yeah.
Wow. And you mean like denim jeans and perhaps with a collar? Oh, wow.
I know. I was like, and we just said, we were like, let's walk. And, you know, we were probably only there like 45 minutes. You know, we're just kind of walking down. But then it felt like a whole new world, honey. It was some straight up Aladdin moment of like freshness.
Oh, yeah. And this was downtown. Do you guys know where I used to work on 6th and Flower at the Daily Grill?
Oh, my God. And you were there before it was cute. We were.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Oh, my God.
The only cute thing there. That and the standard. So
this time we went to Larchmont, which is
Larchmont
like a cute
Village is like where Sandra Rhimes lives, right?
Shonda Rhimes?
I know. It's beautiful. It's actually really.
No, Sandra is her sister.
Yes, no, they're performing surgery there right now. The sexiest surgery you've ever seen. But that's
Maxine
great.
Waters lives there.
And I'm a big fan of downtown LA. I had a lot of great times there when I lived there. So personally, because I worked there and then I did a bunch of shows there and I made a bunch of friends there. So I think it's an underrated area. And like you said, it's actually much cooler and gentrified than it is now than when I was there. Okay, so the next
two questions. I want people to know this. The secret: you have to be very conscious of your relationship. If you just go on autopilot,
people are friendly down there. They want to tell you their life story. Yeah, no, I'm not. Oh, can I tell you another bit that you guys did the other day? The one where you talked about the people on the street. What did you call them? Where they're where you're trying to walk down the street, and it's like a highway, and they're coming up on you. What did you call them?
Oh, juggernauts?
Juggernauts! Right, it was from, yeah, because once they start, they can't be stopped.
Truly.
I am experiencing that, and now I'm calling them juggernauts. I had to do that. Because at the Aldi, these old white people, I have to tell you, once Trump came out and did the YMCA dance, these motherfuckers in the citrus aisle, they got no goddamn fucking respect for other humans. They used to like keep it a little bit like even keeled. Now they're coming at me. I'm trying to get Sophia strawberries. I'm in a hazmat suit. You want to know why I look so skinny? It's because I have to wear a hazmat suit twice a week. You know what I mean?
What, twice a week? You're going to the grocery store twice a week?
Well, yeah, because I will tell you, sometimes the kids go through the goddamn cheese sticks and whatever the fuck so goddamn quick.
I hear that.
Go back out there. And also, I make separate trips to the liquor store. And I want to thank the staff at Canals for being so understanding of me and my bullshit and my rubber gloves and my hazmat suit. They saved me the rocks tequila. They are saints. And
yes.
Yes, no, it's kind of a pain, and you know, there's that element to it, but I don't worry about it, and I do what I have to do. That's why Dara works full time, and I'm a comedian. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Today, the only other thing I'm good for is manual labor and risking my life. So, but juggernauts. I agree with the juggernauts. So I'm going to get to the last two questions because you guys are being so gracious with your time for joining me. So,
anything for my boo.
No. And I know that we sort of maneuvered our time to do this. So again, I really appreciate it. You guys know how excited I was to talk to you. So my next question is for you, Naomi, and also for you, Andy, because you've been around it as well. My question for you is that you got to work on, I believe you both appeared and worked as a writer on what is now the legendary Comedy Central series, Broad City. And it's one of my favorite series of the modern era.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's true. I consider Alana and Abby kind of the modern day equivalent in America of French and Saunders or Ab Fab. Like my personal favorite episode is The Last Supper, scratching herself when she's allergic to the shellfish with the fork, and the divorced couple, Amy Poehler and Will Arnett in the kitchen, because I personally, in New York, on 110th Street, worked in a restaurant owned by Steve Hansen or whatever the fuck, where there literally was that couple in the kitchen.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I've waited tables in so many awful situations. So that episode is kind of my personal favorite. And Andy, I know Alana appeared in some of your early video sketches too. So this is my question for you, and it's sort of benign and sort of straight up, but legit as a fan, what was it like to work around such an iconic duo? Was it intimidating? Did you guys know you were making something classic at the time? Because I would be scared shitless.
I know, that's great. You know, they had no idea. You know, it was just like, we have this friendship, we have this stuff we like to do, let's just put it out there and let's see what happens. You know, it was definitely one of those things where it got, you know, it became popular and it was like, oh, so we're gonna do it again?
Right. What?
We're gonna do it again? You know, and like,
watch this.
I know, and I mean, but it was so cool. But they're both very nice. I mean, when she did your Sense and Sensibilities web series, she was game.
Yes. I mean,
know.
that's the thing. That was way before Broad City, but like Alana and Abby too, now that I've come to know Abby as well, are just like really nice people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they're game.
They're game. You know, they're improvisers. Yes, and baby.
Oh, yeah.
So for the audience, that baby was ironic. That was ironic Austin Powers type baby.
Generally ironic, unless otherwise classified.
But they're good folks. They're Miss Pach. What's the Yiddish?
No. But Miss Pach.
Miss Pacha?
That's great, but that's actually good to know because I've had people on the show who sometimes I ask them a question about say their experience at maybe a certain Saturday night show that is taped live, and instead of getting, the general, positive rays of sunshine, about the real shit, like they hated my writing, they hated me. So, but I like to hear that. It makes me happy to hear that because sometimes you don't want to know if somebody wasn't the way that you would want them to be. So
yes,
that's
it's
really
so true.
Yeah, and of course, I just have to say again that I really, really, really love that show. And
I'm so glad.
Lincoln took so much shit. I shout out to Lincoln.
Shout out to Link.
Hashtag prayers for Lincoln. So,
Russ, do you want to list Hollywood celebrities and we'll tell you if they're jerks or not?
oh, no, we'll do that on my next segment called Naming Names with Russ, Andy, and Naomi, and where we spill all the tea about every motherfucker that has ever crossed us. Because I get to go first. I get the first 90 minutes.
Yes, perfect. I feel
so
like
much resentment when you're a showrunner, guys. Okay, so I'm down to my last question for tonight. And again, I'm going to say some jargon, but I can't thank you enough for joining me on Season 2, Episode 4 of Philly Comedy Club Presents the RUS GUTIN Experience here on Zoom and my YouTube channel. We have the co-hosts of my favorite podcast, Couples Therapy Podcast, Naomi Ekperigin and Andy Beckerman. And this last question is directed towards you, Naomi. As you know, I have always been the biggest fan of both you as a human being and especially as a comedian on stage ever since we met years ago when I was running Comedy Juice at Gotham. I have also been blessed to open for you the last few years a few times, and I'm so vindicated and validated to see the audience so happy to see you and reacting to you the way that I always reacted to you. But off stage, you also know that I've been in love with you from the second old nerd Russell that you wrote your college thesis about X-Men 2, X-Men United, and the diversity and the social implications therein such. And I said to myself, and my wife later that night in that moment, I said, this woman is a blessing and a national treasure, and she must be protected at all costs. Okay? All right, so I just had to put that out there. I think you are on the level of a Joan Rivers or a Bernie Mac or a Red Fox. Your act is so unique that even from 3 rooms away, there's no distinguishing that it's not you on the microphone. It's
Thank you, boo.
Okay, so taking aside all of my bias and my sentences of compliments, okay, I do think that your Comedy Central special, which is available on demand, is one of the best beat for beat specials I have ever seen come out of Comedy Central.
Crap.
I mean this, your material, your hair, your delivery was flawless, okay? And it was a perfect translation of the energy that you give on stage and receive from the audience to the celluloid Comedy Central version. And I think you guys have been in the business like me long enough to know that sometimes that doesn't always work out. Sometimes people record their special and it becomes too controlled a version of what they're trying to do. And your special did not fall under that precarious position. It was just awesome. I was so proud. I cried that night.
Oh, thank you, Papa Russ.
Yeah, no, my question for you is I was hoping you can take me and the crowd at home a little bit behind the scenes and tell us a little bit about what it's like to take on such an extraordinary opportunity. Like, what was the process of booking the gig like? What was the night of the taping like? Who was more nervous, you or Andy?
So
Can I set it up a little bit?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I love it.
And then you take it from there. We were working on a very terrible, the project was good, but we were working with some terrible people on a project that like thought it was a TV pilot. And they thought that like the network had just given 2 schmucks just like, these 2 rubes somehow finagled their way, somehow blackmailed their way in here. So we're going to do all the work.
somebody's
thought,
uncle called somebody, you know.
Right, exactly.
they thought we were just a bunch of dumb rutabagas. And so in the middle of doing this, Naomi finds out that she got the half hour. And the look of surprise on the one old white dude's face, the look of surprise to find out that she was actually incredibly talented.
Had he ever even seen her in action?
I guess not. I'm like,
I
honey, who
guess
brought you here? And you hadn't seen a clip? You
Yeah.
just showed up to work today?
How do you do your fucking Google it, asshole?
Thank you. Google it.
Google the shit.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was wild. So the process, right, was submitting a tape, 25 to 35 minutes in length. You know, the actual half hour with commercials is less than a half hour. So they
Right.
want to see some more. So they have something to cut. So you submit that. And I remember, like, I forgot where we recorded it, but you want to record it hot. Do you remember? Because you filmed it.
It's probably UCB.
No. Well, you're talking about where did you record the demo that you
The
submitted?
demo, yeah, like the demo, and then so
Electric Lady Studios.
so somewhere, and then like, and then when they finally book it, we actually filmed them in New Orleans.
Right. Yeah. No, I knew you filmed it
Right.
in New Orleans. I've heard
So
you tell a story about that.
But like, and it was I think we're there 2 days. It's like very quick. You only do it one time.
One
so it's kind of
time?
like that
I
better
thought
be
you
it.
did it twice.
I know. I thought I was gonna do it twice too.
You thought you were gonna do it twice.
I was like,
Nope, you get one chance.
one and done.
Oh
Honey.
man.
Better hope the crowd likes you.
Streisand, you only get one shot. At
I
the
know.
Oscars.
I know. It was crazy. So we had to do that and then like do it one time. But I remember the big thing was we were in New Orleans in June. It was hot as hell. And your girl was trying to maintain a hair look.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And-
I keep my hair short. My shit's too thick and luxurious. I can't deal with it.
Couldn't do it. And so I'm like trying to like curl it and bend it, and it's like so humid. And it was like if you step outside, it's all gonna go. It was like right. It was like on the verge of raining the entire night. That kind of humid,
Oh man.
Thick. And then Andy came with me, and I remember someone was doing my makeup, and I was like, "You know how to do makeup for black ladies? Please don't have me out here looking rough."
Right.
And she was like, "I got you," and I was like, "Okay." And then, Martha Kelly was the same time as me, right? Like she was performing while I was waiting to go.
I forget exactly. There were like 4 comics that night. I just remember Nick Turner. 'Cause
Okay.
Nick Turner also killed it.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
No,
Love Nick
yeah,
Turner.
he's nuts. So that really helps his comedy. That he is absolutely nuts.
But it was like
It was scary because like when Naomi does like a big stand-up show, that's when I turn into kind of like a stage mom.
Right.
And I'm just like, put Vaseline on your teeth if you want them to love you.
Right. Yeah, like in Beaches, when Maya Bialik is doing the dance and
Yes.
the others off stage. That's Dara always says that when we first met it wasn't a big deal, but the longer we were together, whenever I had a big show, it didn't work for her. She felt like Adrian in Rocky. She couldn't sit in the crowd. It was too much. She didn't like it. Like,
Yeah.
and for me, I was like, it's fine. I'm gonna smoke 3 cigarettes. We're gonna do this shit. But she got too nervous, and that would make me nervous. So that's why I was curious, Andy, because I mean, I think when you guys are together the way you are, I mean, you're not just up there alone. You're not on that stage alone. Even though,
Yeah.
let's face it, Naomi, when you watch that special, you walked the stage as if you owned it. It was,
I
you
do
wouldn't
love a
have
pace.
known that you had not done that theater 50 fucking times. Like,
Thank you. Yeah, I got a pace. It's almost like how I get my nerves out. You know what I mean? Like just keep walking and you'll find it.
you
You'll
had
find
the
what you need.
anger and the indignity. And-
Naomi hates.
No, yeah, it was. I just I'll say it again. I think that it's a special that other specials should watch to be more special, and I think that young comics should watch it to understand that that's how much you have to dig your heels in. That's how much you have to actually swing at the ball to actually hit a home run on a stage in a situation like that. I thought that it was again, I just think that you were so honest and everything you were saying, but there was the way your shoulders went back. You just put everything into it, and it was awesome. And I really appreciate you sharing that story with me, just because I haven't experienced that. So I think that it's neat for all of us to sort of see what that might be like to tape something like that. I think it's super awesome, and I think that you were super awesome. So that brings me to the end tonight, guys. I can't tell you how much I obviously fucking love your amazing podcast, Couples Therapy, which the audience at home can now subscribe to on iTunes. They can follow on Instagram at Couples Therapy Pod, or they can follow on Twitter at Naomi and Andy. They can also follow Naomi at Blacktress Comedy and Andy at Andy Beckerman on any of their social media platforms. As you guys know, you have always championed me as an individual,
of course,
not just a showrunner, not just somebody. The point is that you always saw me as Russ, not what Russ was also
Papa Russ
in charge of. That's right. And you've always put me in a position to succeed, and I've always had a blast working with you. I look up to the two of you so much, and everything that you have built together with this podcast, and I can't thank you enough for joining me on my quaint little House on the Prairie Zoom show compared to yours.
Oh, honey, I live for you. I love to see you on the Zoom. And I said, I get an email from Russ. Mm-hmm. There's no question, right? Andy and I, we don't need to check in.
I couldn't believe it.
We said yes.
We said yes.
Immediately.
You know, we quote you. We quote pizza bagel. Little pizza bagel.
No, you guys were at the taping of my album. Far back in the day. But Naomi, you and I we had a moment together where Jimmy Fallon was there the night that we performed together at Gotham. Other big nights that we did together. Quite frankly, and being honest, at the time, I had to fight to put friends of mine who I really believed in on that show. I wasn't really in charge. And I remember saying to them, and Darren remembers, I said, well, look, motherfuckers, this woman is one of the best fucking comics I have encountered in this whole fucking situation. So you're just going to have to fucking trust me. And
I love it.
And I was right. And there's nothing that gives me more joy than being right about anything.
Of course.
And you just always had my back. I've always had yours. And Andy, the fact of the matter is that you are much cooler than me, and the amount of content that you put out.
True.
Also, your podcast beginnings. You have talked to so many amazing musicians and artists and comedians. You sort of run the gamut. And every time I listen to your show, I feel like I learned something. I feel like I come out smarter than I was before. And let's face it, I'm pretty fucking intelligent and handsome, and ageless. Let's just deal with it. Yes.
Ageless.
So you guys joining me tonight means the world to me. And if I said any more, I think I will come off uncouth.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much, Russ.
No, thank you guys for joining us on season 2, episode 4 of Philly Comedy Club Presents the RUS GUTIN Experience here on Zoom and my YouTube channel.